I'm snacking on some of these like Scooby-Doo gummies. These things hit, bro. They hit. I was trying to look for the wrapper, but I threw the wrapper away. These things hit, bro. No cap. No cap. All right, y'all. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the top 10 best cars to use in lockdown. Yes, I know that the bike kind of makes the car list obsolete. You don't even really need cars at this point. But in case you cannot get a bike, these are the cars that you may want to use. Now, these are subjective. They're not objective. I'm not saying that these are the best cars to use objectively. I'm just saying that I've had the best success not being in a bike while using these cars. But anyway, let's do the fit check, right? Fit check, fit check, fit check, fit check. All right, so y'all have already seen this fit before, but I got something new. I got something new on it, right? I got my Swarovski bracelet, bro. It just came into the mail, bro. This thing be shining, buddy. This thing be shining in the light. I'm telling y'all, that this thing right here be shining in the light. But anyway, we got the Fruits of the Spirit right here. You know how we rock with those. Fruits of the Spirit in the back. Yes, sir. And then we got the fruits. You guys, it says Fruits of the Spirit. And then it says all the fruits of the Spirit down here too. So, and then Elevated Faith. Oh my gosh. Thank you. All right, Elevated Faith right there, right? Shout out to them. This is exactly the type of merch that I am selling in my store. Stuff where it has like words everywhere, or sometimes it can be a little bit minimalist. Make sure y'all boys go ahead and check that out. I promise it's good quality and it looks fire. I'm gonna be wearing it soon. I got mine in the mail coming soon. Y'all are gonna see live. I might wear it on stream. I don't know yet. But if y'all enjoy, make sure to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. Boom, boom. Best cars to use in lockdown game mode. This was a video I have been putting off for quite some time, and it was originally supposed to be the best cars to target players with, but I decided to combine the two sort of. Maybe I'll make a more defined video on the best cars to target other players with one day. Let me know if y'all want that video. However, this one is going to be a quick breakdown of all the cars I feel the best to use and why I feel that way. The first thing I want to state is this is 100% my opinion. I am not saying these cars are the objective best to use. I have just had the best success using them in various situations. The bike should be the ultimate priority to use for playing in general. And I do understand that having the bike makes the car list obsolete, but for those who want to stay in cars or need to be in the best position when a bike is not available, then you might find help in this list. You never know what could happen. The list is also not in any particular order, and the builds for these cars will not be in this video. Why? Because since they are all S+, all you have to do is literally upgrade the best engine and add whatever tires you want. Of course, you want every single one of these cars to be the highest tier possible. Also, you want to make sure that they have the best equipment on them, whether that is damage reduction, damage increase, or the NOS auxiliaries. Those are up to you and what you are going for. The clothing store is active as well, y'all, for merch for those who are looking into wearing some Christian streetwear. If you enjoy, make sure to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. The first car, of course, is the powerful Ford Raptor. This thing is a tank and will smash through pretty much anything you throw at it. The cops are easy, you can take down bikes very easily, and smashing through barriers is a breeze. You know how the police can bring a player's health bar down to pretty much nothing with one hit? Well, imagine if you had that ability and could use it against others as well. Use this car with the damage increase, damage reduction, and have the ESV equipped, and you are easily the most powerful entity in the entire game mode. Also, this truck can't be moved very easily, which is one of the biggest issues with a lot of other vehicles in this game. The cops tend to be able to move your car with little effort when you are trying to capture the extraction truck or just driving in general. Using the Raptor will stop that. If your teammates need protection from others when trying to get a blacklist car, this is the vehicle to use. Another great thing about the Raptor is how well it handles, surprisingly, and the level of speed it can reach. Don't sleep on it. Next is the Lamborghini Urus. It's not as strong as the Raptor, but it is more nimble and overall faster, so it can reach places quicker while not being pushed around as much like a smaller car. Because it is an SUV, it does still hit hard for those who require that, and the damage it takes from cops and other racers isn't as high as smaller cars. With this car, I would be careful with trying to push through barriers. Just because the health and overall starting defense is not as high as the Raptor, I would equip the damage reduction and a NOS auxiliary just due to the fact that I don't use this car for offense really. It's more for a quick defense option. The third car is the Lotus Evija, and this is the best car to capture lockups quickly, get to the bikes quickly, or race to the extraction trucks quickly. It is faster than the bikes and every other car in the entire game. If you use this car for offense, then it needs to be strictly used for that purpose. If you build up speed and hit someone, then you for sure will do a bunch of damage to them, but even though this car can give out damage, it does not take it very well. Use this car to hit someone and take advantage of the quick acceleration to either reposition for another hit or just escape. This is also one of the best cars to collect money, complete hot lap activities, and speed trap activities due to the speed it possesses. When doing all of these, you will get a huge amount of money, as well as RAP, which can be used to get the weekly rewards. I use this car with both drift and grip aux for NOS to achieve maximum speed whenever possible. One last thing I want to add is I was going to have the Regera as its own section, but it truly would be pointless. If you don't have the Lotus, then the next best option to use is the Regera for sure. In my usage of the two, it seems the Regera can take hits a bit better than the Lotus, but in turn, it's just not as fast. You can use this to your advantage if you are someone who likes to go after other players, but truly it's up to you. The Mercedes G-Wagon is just like the other bigger cars, but I rarely use this one as opposed to the Urus and the Raptor. It is still good to use, but due to the fact of how it handles, it just doesn't flow as nicely when going against other players. This is taking into consideration how sluggish and hard to maneuver it can be, either trying to take out cops or when trying to protect your teammates. Due to the boxiness of the car though, one of the best ways I have used this car is to simply be a fat roadblock for tighter turns or for when people are trying to enter the lockups. Due to this, I use the damage impact protection and one of the NOS auxiliaries. I want the car to be able to get enough boost to get up to speed while also being somewhat of a tank, not so much a battering ram. Number 5 is the Mercedes Maybach, and this one honestly surprised me on how good it actually can be. It's able to get this up to speed nicely, and also it's decent at giving damage and taking it. However, I would not solely rely on this car to tank a bunch of damage from other players, as it is still a car at the end of the day. Unlike the G-Class, I use this car for battering ram plays, such as when another team is trying to take the truck or when cops are in the front of me. As said before, this car can take a bit of damage, but its strong suits are the ability for it to give out damage as well as build up speed to either avoid others or hit harder. The aux I use for this is impact protection and one of the boost NOS auxiliaries. Some of the best spots I have had a significant impact on are the highways for sure, due to the sheer amount of trucks that can spawn on them, as well as players who use them to escape or traverse the map. The Maybach is most likely outrunning majority of other players, including the bike. The Porsche Taycan is next on the list, and this has to be one of the best cars to escape any sticky situation in. The instant acceleration on these electric vehicles cannot be underestimated, and the fact it still has a great top speed is just another nail in the coffin for people who try to wreck you out. One of the best ways to escape other racers is to keep taking turns and using the city to your advantage, and that is exactly what makes this car so great. It handles decent, but can get back up to a decent speed very quickly. I do not use this car for any offensive purposes though. In my opinion, it can do some damage, but it's just not worth it. Use this car to get into lockups or get somewhere quickly, and if people are chasing you due to you having a big amount of money for a contract or whatever, this car will be able to get you out of a pinch pretty easily. This is of course banking on the fact that you know how to drive at least decently. Due to me not using this car for any sort of offense, I usually just use the drift and grip auxiliary bottles to achieve the best speed out of turns and also on straights. The Lotus Exige is pretty much the same way as the Taycan, but I don't consider it as good due to the fact it has gears that it needs to shift through in order to excel out of corners or from a complete stop. This can be the meaning between life and death for those in automatic and maybe for those in manual, but remember the car should be an S plus tier, meaning the clutch should be maxed out. This car also has a bad tendency to die when approaching the higher speeds, so keep that in mind. Another thing to remember is the car is very light and can be thrown around very easily by cops and players alike, so I would highly recommend to not take this car into any sort of battle and to just use it to get places quicker. If you have the Taycan, use the Taycan. But I am aware that some people do not have it. So if you don't, then this is the next best option if you really have people always on you. Consider this car the base model of the cars you want to take in a lockdown. It has the standard for what you are looking for, but of course won't be the fastest like the Lotus or the Taycan. The last two cars are the Land Rover and the Range Rover, which I'm sure everyone already knew would be on the list. Both of these cars can be a problem and both handle pretty decently for what they are. However, out of the two, I would recommend the Range Rover over the other, just due to the fact it seems to be able to use its power a bit more and doesn't take as much damage from other players and cops. For both of these cars, I use them as pure utility, meaning straight defense and damaging others. Would I use these over the Ford Raptor and the Urus? No, but remember that your cars can be impounded at any time, and it's good to have other options for when this does happen eventually. Hopefully this list helped you all and gave you guys some insight on what I use for whatever purposes. Some cars are better at guarding and protecting, some are better at getting to objectives quicker. Use this to your advantage. If you enjoyed, make sure to go ahead and drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.